Welcome to the JW Untold Truth channel. You're not going to believe me if I tell you, so I'm gonna show you instead. One of the governing bodies, actually let's call them for what they are. One of the Jehovah's Witnesses leaders, David Splane, he's telling his followers that you cannot trust Gentile judges, as he calls them. You can't trust them at all unless they rule in favor of the Jehovah's Witnesses. That is the only time Jehovah's Witnesses leaders will trust Gentile judges. Otherwise, they cannot be trusted. So let's have a look at the short clips so the public are well aware of how this organization, the Jehovah's Witnesses, or the Watchtower, are telling the followers how to think about court cases in the Gentile courts. So let's have a look at this short clip, which is found Jehovah's Witnesses website, but this talk is actually from the 2021 Convention of the Jehovah's Witnesses. But let's just hope that the government officials of all the European countries and all the countries around the world will have a look at this clip, and they are well aware of this clip and how the Jehovah's Witnesses leaders think of them. So let's have a look at this short clip of David Splane telling the followers, do not trust the governments, do not trust the judges of the governments.
So suppose a report indicates that someone has been charged with a crime or that he's being investigated. All right, you have two words, charged and investigated. It doesn't mean he's guilty. Or suppose that someone is convicted and put in jail. It doesn't mean he's guilty.
So if a court, and when he says someone, he's talking about a Jehovah's Witness or someone in the organization. So he's saying that if someone is found guilty within the Gentile court or a Gentile judge, if he's found guilty, it does not mean that he's guilty. But even if a Jehovah's Witness is found guilty by the Gentile judge, what does this mean for the Jehovah's Witness? Let's have a look.
Or someone is found guilty by men, as Jesus was. It doesn't mean that he's guilty in the sight of God.
So David Splane is saying that if a Jehovah's Witness is found actually guilty, that he's guilty by the Gentile judge, well, it doesn't mean he's guilty because Jesus was judged by a Gentile judge and he was not guilty. So he's comparing any Jehovah's Witnesses as Jesus Christ being judged guilty. But let's go even further. So what about an organization or the Jehovah's Witnesses organization, the Watchtower, is found paying millions of dollars out of court just to settle a case so it doesn't go any further? So let's have a look what David Splane has to say about this situation.
We may read that a person or an organization was sued and then settled out of court. Does settling out of court mean that they were guilty? Not necessarily.
So if the Watchtower is found, which it has been paying out of court millions of dollars, according to the Jehovah's Witnesses leader, that doesn't mean they are guilty. But let's go even further. What does one of the Jehovah's Witnesses leader, one of the governing bodies, say or reckons or believes or feels that Gentile judges are like? Can we trust them or can we not trust them? Well, let's have a look what David Splane has to say about them.
The juries have prejudices like everyone else, and some of them just can't set their prejudices aside.
There you have it. Most of the Gentile judges are prejudiced. They cannot be trusted. Gosh. So Gentile judges are prejudiced, as David Splane just said. So this is the icing on the cake on these short clips of this 2021 Jehovah's Witnesses Convention. Here, David Splane, the governing body, he's about to twist the scripture and make an excuse why the Watchtower or the organization of the Jehovah's Witnesses are paying millions out of court. Let's have a look. He's twisting the scripture here. It's just gold. It's priceless. Let's have a look at this.
So that brings up the question, is it wrong to settle a matter before it goes to trial? Or is it scriptural? Let's let Jesus answer that question. Turn to Matthew chapter 5, verses 25 and 26. Be quick to settle matters with your legal opponent while you are with him on the way there, so that somehow the opponent may not turn you over to the judge, and the judge to the court attendant, and you get thrown into prison. I say to you for a fact, you will certainly not come out of there until you have paid over your last small coin. Now notice, Jesus didn't say that the man should settle only if he was guilty.
So notice, Jesus didn't say that only guilty people will settle out of court. So obviously, when the Watchtower or the Jehovah's Witnesses organization settle out of court, it doesn't mean they are guilty at all. Because Jesus didn't say that people who settle out of court are guilty. But David Splane cannot help himself to finish this clip with a big blast. But here is what he really thinks of the Gentile judges. Let's play this amazing finale.
So when Jesus talks about judge, he's obviously referring to what a Gentile judge would do. Now, you couldn't necessarily expect justice from him. Why might he rule against our brother? Well, maybe he got paid under the table by the other party. Or maybe he was prejudiced against the race or the religion of the other party.
So when a Gentile, oh my God, this is unbelievable. So when a judge, or a Gentile judge as he calls them, find a Jehovah's Witnesses or the organization guilty as charged, well, they might have been paid under the table, or he just doesn't like the race, or actually, in fact, according to David Splane, he does not like the religion, and that's why he's judging against them. So that is just go crazy thinking. And obviously, the Jehovah's Witnesses and their leaders are ignoring what they follow, the Bible, because in Romans chapter 13 tells them clearly what the attitude should be towards these judges. So let's have a quick read at Romans 13. Let's play this little short scripture.
Chapter 13. Let every person be in subjection to the superior authorities, for there is no authority except by God. The existing authorities stand placed in their relative positions by God. Therefore, whoever opposes the authority has taken a stand against the arrangement of God. Those who have taken a stand against it will bring judgment against themselves.
As I said, guys, you wouldn't believe me if I tell you, so I had to show you. So let's have a look what we can find for the next video.